Bonjour.
Mhm. Mhm.
How
Can you hear me? All right.
you doing?
Been crazy day. Vanna White has been working hard to get my book published, and she pushed the buttons today to get the author's copy. So moving right along, I guess.
What?
Yeah. So,
What?
so getting there. That's all I can figure out,
You
right?
know, I just have one word that didn't come into my head last week. Vellum,
Oh yeah,
right?
yeah.
Like we're not here to promote anybody because nobody's sending us any money. However, I will say, with the help of Vellum, I was able, with help from a friend, to get my book published, and I recommended it to Mr. Rendela. I
Yeah.
got an app for you. Have
Yeah.
I got an app for you? I said. And then, dun, 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 I'm so excited. I
Yeah.
helped a little bit because it has to be about me for just 2 seconds, like any good politician.
I understand. The other thing is a company called Book Spy,
Hmm,
and they have been extremely helpful, right?
that's good.
Yeah, they if you ask them a question how to do something, they respond within 5 seconds.
That's pretty slow. I'm
Yeah,
kidding.
yeah, yeah,
That's pretty quick.
We didn't get divorced through this process. We did yell at each other for like, for a minute, but we didn't get divorced. We're still
Wow. That
yeah,
sounds like my weekend. I was lots of yelling, like a good
yeah.
20 hours in like legal actions and orders to show call like boy, am I learning stuff.
Yeah. Well, this is like a college education Lisa's had to go through, you
Well,
know.
oh
It,
no, you said her name out loud. Do I
oh,
need to?
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm
Uh-oh.
sorry.
don't do
Yeah.
it. I'll let you be because I'm
Huh?
done with this. I'll let you be.
Okay.
No, come back.
Yeah.
I can't. My head is going to explode as it is.
Yeah.
Now you sound like me.
Yeah.
My head was going to explode this weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought, but then I took lots of breaths and it helped. And I actually, engaged in some quiet time and non-thought, and that helped also.
Oh yeah. Non-thought is the way to go. Right.
Yep, when in doubt, just go nowhere fast.
Yeah. Anyway, it's been quite the thing to kind of like learn a whole new skill, right?
Yeah.
And,
Well, they
and
say if old folks don't do it, we're going to be left behind, and who wants that?
yeah.
They
That's
are,
true.
they're constantly pummeling us with that. Like I would rather figure out how to work Vellum or whatever, or learn how to, and I hate even saying this, prompt AI with questions that get me back valid answers, and with a little guidance from a human being. Um, uh, Good documents are created. So, a little schmitta schmatta here and a little bit of this there and a pinch of that and don't pinch your friend and hashtag me too. It's not what we're doing. Oh my God, I talked to Brooksy the other day and I left him a voicemail. I said if you call back and I don't answer, I'm likely soaking in some Epsom salts because my body needs that. So I get this voicemail.
Yeah.
And I get this text. He said, "You're soaking in Epstein salts?" Because I guess the voicemail was bad. And I called him. I thought, do I? Do I? And he says, "Hello." I said, "Epstein salts? Are you kidding me right now?" He said, "That's what it sounded like." And of course, he takes everything literally. So he thought,
Yeah.
it's just Leanne. She's probably saying something weird.
I don't know.
Mm.
It's been an interesting week, all right?
All the way around.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've
I
got
mean,
the
I
Artemis
know.
people. They dumped back in the Pacific Ocean, and now
Oh,
they decided
that
Nancy Guthrie is a cold case. What else? The comet is coming. The
what
volcano in Japan is putting ash, nice ash, baby.
what's the what do they call a movie that's camp?
Yeah,
Like you know, like
yeah, like it's a campy movie, like Weekend at Bernie's, campy.
yeah, that is exactly. We have Weekend at Artemis 2. How's that? Artemis or whatever. Weekend at Artemis, right? I mean, I have never seen such balderdash. How's that? And such febrile attempts at, let's see how to put this, scientific actions. How's that? If you can string all that together, right?
Is there quotes around
It's
scientific?
what?
Scientific action?
Oh yeah. No, that I have never seen such a poor attempt to rid this world of the Epstein files. How's that?
Do you think that's all it is, or there's other stuff that they're trying to rid themselves of like scientists and generals and like why? Like what's the point? I mean, if nobody cares, then why kill people if it's not a big deal? Like the whole thing is just
Yeah,
dumb.
yeah.
Like,
It's it's just oh my God, we're gonna bomb a civilization back into the Stone Age. But look here, we orbited the moon in a drive-by shooting. I mean, I have never seen such an inane action at such an expense,
well,
right?
but it's almost like you know how when you watch movies about people and the subject is like some poor kid who's got 18 personalities?
Yeah.
I think that those movies I think our government is schizophrenic.
Yeah. No, schizophrenic's too kind. I mean,
Sociopathic and schizophrenic.
when you have Pope Leo
Oh my,
accusing Trump of delusional, what is it? Delusional omnipotence.
yeah.
Delusional omnipotence.
Well, this is because
And
he
telling
posts
people,
photos of himself as Jesus Christ, like Jesus
yeah,
and his face
well, and
superimposed.
then telling everybody that he has, it's an unjust war, unlike the one waged by Moses and King David and a thousand other saints out there. And people don't realize you could compare him to JC because this is a crusade, right? We have taken our Christians and moved them into the Middle East, right? Our
You know, when I think of
Christian,
the Crusades, I think of chainmail.
yeah. I think it was a way to get rid of the kids, and I think we're still doing that.
I thought they were eating them.
Yeah, well, you gotta provide what do they call it? Fodder, fuel for the fuel for the war is
Got to
fodder for
save something in your back pocket when you want to escalate it even more. Like
yeah,
that, you mean?
yeah. So it might be a new fodder land. Got it?
Oh, okay. Is there such a thing as the Fourth Reich? And does it run shit?
No, no. Well, all you did was people don't realize there's no countries anymore. It's all multinational corporations. And what that means is that they don't have any physicality as far as this is my land, this is your land. How's the rest of that song
From
go?
California, Gavin's running for
Yeah, it's the
president.
North
Uh-oh, here
Highlands.
we go again.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh-oh.
So yeah, so that's all it is that we transition from nation states into multinational corporation entities that are not bound by any particular geographic area. the result of which we can pound it back in the Stone Age because it doesn't make any difference. You're not affecting the leadership or the owners of those companies. Just like when, Germany, Germany surrendered, but the Third Reich didn't, right? They just went multinational, right? Kind of like AT&T.
So when you look at BlackRock and all this other stuff and the
Oh, yeah.
Rothschilds and the banking families, is that all just an extension of,
Yeah, BlackRock's like the 14th Reich, right?
okay, it's like the seven levels of Reich.
Yeah, there you go.
We're just
And
gonna get rid of hell now.
that
It's so
the
outdated, hell.
seven
When we have
letters of
Reich.
black or dark or whatever. Yeah, whatever book.
Wow.
Yeah. See, people can finally get a hold on kind of what all is going on in the world when you realize you get rid of all the language of nation states because they really don't make any difference anymore. It was just
So why
a
bother having NATO? Just more of for a show? I mean,
yeah,
look, this is
that's exactly
outrageous. Like
right.
the ideas that you're
Yeah, why
are
would you?
outrageous. Like you know that, right? Like it's outrage to society such as it is. What you're saying is completely
Well,
outrageous. If we were in the 1200s, you'd have been set on fire by now. Like
well,
God
yeah.
only knows what they'd have done to me.
Well, the key is like, what does NATO defend? They defend countries. Okay.
But if
And
there
now,
are no countries and it's all corporations, what's use for them?
no, they're defending multinationals and they don't care about borders. And we can see that because of the uh, efforts to erase those in the last 5 years. Okay. Right. So if you look at all borders are being erased, they want them erased. They want people to run all over the place because multinationals have their own little protected enclaves, underground bunkers, transit systems, underground cities, the lost continent of Atlantis, where they all live. And anyway, you can get into the whole thing. Yeah, it's
You
really,
too can have a timeshare in the lost
yeah.
city of Atlantis if you know
Yeah.
the right guy.
Yeah, I tell people you should buy stock in your favorite corporation so eventually they recognize you as one of their own. So you can be an NVIDIA person, a Tesla person, a BlackRock person. I mean, BlackRock's in the lead, $1,100 a share, right? Just look at the share price. You can see who's winning, right? So there you go. I owe my allegiance to our Lord and Savior,
BlackRock.
Elon. No, no, no. What's the other one? Yeah.
DJT,
And,
Godzilla.
and just like that JC thing. First JC, and then he was the son of God, right? Well, but then you said Lord of Lords. Okay. So now we have all the lords and,
Now I
Great
have
Britain.
choirs in my head.
And,
Lord
and
of Lords. Like, oh
yeah.
my,
And then they went to King of Kings. And finally we got a king. You know?
this is like
It's
Handel's
like,
Messiah now is playing in my
yeah.
head. Like, what is
Yeah. So we're way ahead because we have our own king now. And Great Britain is getting ready to lose theirs because he's going to go out the door one of these days, right? And then they'll have a new young king, and we know young kings aren't as good as old kings because we have old kings, right?
Where's
Oh, by
Melania?
the way,
And Melania's left with her robot. She's
there you
long
go,
gone.
because Empress Melania, Empress of the Russian Empire, right?
Russian.
Yeah,
Isn't she
she's the
Slovenian?
rightful heir to the Russian Romanov family.
Said
So
who?
so she can be an empress. And by the way, I've decided on a song that would be good for
Confused. Wait.
her.
What's a good song for Melania, Randy?
What's the song? Let me see if I can find it. Uh,
Dun, 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 dun,
um,
dun, 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 dun,
uh,
dun,
Golly, I
dun,
had that somewhere.
dun, dun, dun,
Um,
dun, 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 dun. Dun, dun,
I,
dun,
I,
dun,
I,
dun.
I have to find it. I wrote it down somewhere. What
Don't
was
make me spray you.
Melania's song? Um, anyway, the Escape from
Mar-a-Lago.
Mar-a-Lago, I think is appropriate right now, and I think we could get Chris Rock to play Snake. How's
I
that?
think Chris Rock should play Donald Trump. Let's just switch it up good. And then you know who should play Snake Plissken?
Oh,
Jackie
huh?
Chan. No,
Yeah,
Jackie Chan.
he's not looking too good right now. All right.
Jackie Chan's not looking good.
No, he can go
That's
look.
not, I don't like that idea. He's the best one.
Yeah.
Damn it. Okay,
Oh,
what about
here,
Jet Li?
yeah. Here's a
So funny.
song for Melania, right? Donna Summers, she works hard for the money. She works hard for the money. Anyway, if you take that song and dedicate it to Melania and our movie Escape from Mar-a-Lago, right? And she should call us because we would give her the starring role. She could finally break into film. And the second thing is, I have a medal to present to her for valor on the field of battle, for continual effort in the face of overwhelming situations and attacks and all that kind of things. And she has held up for 20 years of that. And if you don't think she doesn't deserve a medal, I got news for you. You should try it.
Okay, so let me ask you, like, the wife that lasts the longest is the one who gets the Social Security. Has she lasted the longest out of all of them? I guess,
Hmm.
yeah, she has of the ones who are still alive.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm.
So anyway, I think
Good for
Melania
you.
should be up for Empress of Russia, and she deserves a medal for valor, and with combat little flowers on it.
Are you
How's that?
just being a weirdo, or does she really actually like the Empress of Russia?
No,
Does she actually have?
I'm going to have a medal made up that I could present to her on the 4th of July if she would be willing to do an awards ceremony with
Why not Bastille Day? What's the 4th of
and
July?
me and you, because that's French. French can't celebrate the winning a war. They've never won one.
I'll have you know that my due date was Bastille Day because it's all about me again. And I didn't show up on the 4th or on Bastille Day. I showed up on July 11th. So send me money for July 11th. I'll put my
Uh-huh.
Venmo in the description. Send me
And
lots of money.
what I admire about our Lord and Savior is that He has already planned the Arc de Triomphe of the big arch for winning the war, right? That He's going to put up behind the Lincoln Memorial, right?
Okay, what now?
Now
Now you're,
that's planning. See, that's advanced planning. That shows a great mind at work.
but now, Randy, see, I feel very gaslit right now because you just told me that's French. We're not doing that. And then as soon as we got done saying that, now you're telling me he's got the Arc de Triomphe. Like,
Yeah,
what?
yeah.
I'm so confused. Your words are smashing into each other.
You got to be quick.
Uh-oh. Oh no. It's time to
Yeah,
put my
yeah,
hands
that
like this.
too. Yeah,
Don't forget,
yeah.
the comet is coming.
And
Uh-oh.
in there was a movie called Best Little Entertainment House in Texas or something like
Yeah.
that with
Y'all come
Dolly.
back now, you hear?
Yeah, Dolly Parton. And they had a politician there, and he did a song called "I Love to Do the Sidestep." And if you look at what's going on, you have, Salwell, 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 Sal like in Piggies. I don't know, Salwell.
Salad.
Yeah, doing the sidestep out of the California race, and you have Trump doing the flip flop, right? And I mean, we have good flip flops. You look at like Don Bongino, you look at Cruz, Ted Cruz, and you look at all the people that were against Trump and now they're gung ho for him. Those are flip floppers, right? Somebody should be hit with a flip flop. There you go.
So we haven't heard much about Three Eye Atlas. I have to ask you about Comet
Oh my
C front slash 2025 R3 Pan stars. It's
What?
approaching perihelion and then it flies in between the Earth and the sun. So there's another comet coming.
Oh
Uh-oh.
yeah. Yeah, we're looking at Apophis, right?
We're looking at something like we've got,
Yeah, Apophis hits the earth and kills us all. Whoopee, we're all gonna die.
it says, yeah, now what? Then what? So what? So
Yeah,
what?
that's fine. You know, the popcorn sales should be off the wall right now. Oh man, this is the greatest movie of all time you're watching.
Like big world events begin as a large comet fast approaches. Fast approaches.
What?
Big world events begin as a large comet fast
That's
approaches.
right. Right. You had all the auguries of the ancient prophets and prophetesses.
Well, I mean, this guy's saying Sakurajima volcano in Japan exploded on the 11th. So there's the massive ash cloud. That's why I was saying nice ash before, but very infantile humor.
They're just fireworks that Trump has ordered to celebrate. Okay.
A typhoon's about to hit Guam.
Yeah. It's going to
Yeah,
wash away the sins of Guam. There we go. The Great
and then the
Flood.
comet. That's what he's talking about.
Yeah. Yeah.
Those, that's I can't, trifecta. I have to hold my two fingers now because they won't stay by them.
You have to have a comment or it's not a valid prophecy. Everybody knows that.
Oh, well, they failed with AI Atlas. It's gone. Nobody now actually
Oh,
now nobody's talking about
you
it.
know, I thought, first of all, that the Foundation series should never have been made by the people that made it. And then I thought the people that brought you the, jab should never have been involved in that movie. And then they brought you 3AI Atlas or whatever, and who the
Three,
hell
ay,
dreamed,
ay, ay, Atlas.
yeah, yeah, whoever dreamed that stupid thing up. And now we have Artemis coming on, stupid layering on stupid. It's just the most ignorant thing in the world. So anyway, that's my opinion on it. Let's see.
I have a question.
Hmm.
Like, does anybody know what actually happens if you go through a black hole? What if we already did that and instead of getting squished when we went through, we just came out in this really meowed up place that was once not like this, but like it got.
Um, you cannot enter in chaos at that level and maintain any kind of integrity at all. How's that? Absolute loss of integrity.
Have you done it?
Therefore,
How do you
it's a
know?
complete black hole.
Prove it.
Right? Oh, did we talk about the dictator class? You know, dictators, we're just not getting the quality of dictators we used to.
That's not true. He's got the f front and center.
No,
All
we had Pol Pot, we had Baby Doc, or what
we
was the
had Papa
one?
Doc. I've got
Papa
Baby
Doc.
Doc as the
Yeah,
manager of my apartment complex.
yeah,
Like that Baby
yeah,
Doc is yeah, he's a nightmare.
yeah. So, Papa Doc loved to eat them people, right?
Come
And
on.
that's that's true. It was on the internet.
Did
And
so
then
okay,
anyway,
because it's
so
on the internet that makes it
you
true.
look
What
at the dictators we're just getting actors. I mean, come on, Maduro is a genius that's running a country. Castro's a genius running a country. Our favorite North Korea dictators is an excellent manager and what do you call it? A MBA, right? Master of Business Administration. I mean, just look at it. And what do they call ours? They call it the administration.
no, I thought we called it Jesus.
Well, pretty close, right? What's the song? It's going to take a miracle.
Yeah.
Trump is providing
Only
miracles.
one?
because I
We need
saw.
more than one miracle, Randy. We need
Did you
multiple miracles.
did you see the picture of him laying hands on the guy, right? Because he's a doctor and healing people with health and stuff.
Did they say hashtag me too under the picture?
Yeah. So anyway, I don't think we're getting the quality dictators that we used to. Let's see, what else did I have? Oh, and we're even worse, we can't even get somebody like Baghdad Bob to report on the war in Iran. You were
It's
stuck
kind of
with
like
non-personalities. Like I think we should ship a like a Kardashian or a Vance or even better, an Erica.
I
Send
have a
Erica over
question.
there to be the voice of Iran. How's
Have
that?
Baghdad Bob and Joe Bob Briggs ever been seen in the same place at the same
I
time?
don't think so. I don't think so. But Joe Bob Biggs would be my choice to provide commentary, unlike some of the other people that are out there.
Well, he liked
Oh,
Girlfriend from
oh,
Hell, so we'll keep him.
oh. And this is the one that got me. Trump came out and accused Alex Jones, Candace Owens, and what's his name? Tucker Yucker.
Tucker,
Yeah, of being low IQ. So let's set something straight. Say Tucker's first name.
Tucker.
His IQ is 130, 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 137. That's pretty good, right? Next,
Candace.
130, 29, 30, right?
Leanne.
And who? Actually, 137. You're right in there with Tucker, right? The other
Tucker
way you can
Grant.
handle it is if you don't have an high IQ. And
Okay.
oh, Alex, dear old Alex,
Alex.
he's running about 142. So, people don't realize it takes an IQ to be able to handle all the different inputs and be able to, you know, kind of like put them back out in some form or fashion. Until you reach my IQ when you can't associate anything with anything. Right? The
I'm glad
dividing line between insanity and genius is 160, by the way. So,
so I'm like what, 23 short of being insane?
oh, well, could be. Say dear
I
old
feel
Donald
like I was
first. Say
insane when I
Donald's
was
first name.
younger. I
Say
feel like
Donald's first name.
Donnie,
129. How about JD?
JD.
132. Not bad, right? Putin. Say his name. Vlad.
Vlad. Vladimir Putin.
150. Do you see? Like, like I said, we're just not getting the dictator class we used to. Maduro, about 95. Should have been a bus driver. Oh, he was a bus driver. Right?
Until he became the bus they were driving.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. Yeah. There you go.
wow.
There you go. So I take umbrage at the fact that he would accuse them of being low IQ because the average IQ in the United States is about 100. So there you go. Right?
Well, I'm not at the tip of the whatever, but you, honestly, I feel like the amount of people with whom I am able to interact are probably right around the 100 level.
Oh, that's
Exactly.
because they're relatable and not too much in their head like the rest of us, right? So, yeah, that's it. Too much in your head, girl.
Close your brackets. Close your
But
brackets.
have another beer. Let's
Oh
see.
no. Ew. I don't like
Let's
beer.
see. Oh,
Oh,
yeah, we're actually entering into a new war. This is kind of the end of the old wars, and we'll be going into a new war state, right? And it's a game that'll be played by multinationals, General Dynamics, Our Father who art in heaven, Lockheed Martin,
yeah.
Jack the Jack Parsons Magic Factory. I mean JPL, It's like, oh, that's NASA, by the way. Never straight answer. So anyway, all those people are going to play in this new war. And by the way, the Cuban situation, people don't realize Cuba and Venezuela, and I'm trying to figure out if maybe Iran is in that category. If you can eliminate the sources and levels of protein needed to maintain a healthy population, that is a war. Okay. And so what are we doing? Starving Cuba, starving, Maduro and all of them, starved Venezuela. And what happens is you don't develop, first of all, the body or the IQ necessary to be able to thrive. So, and we can see that in places like Haiti and Dominican Republic and Africa and everything. We've deprived them of protein, which has kept them enslaved. So there's a good word. So see, there's things to look forward to. They weaken the population that way.
Well, at what point do they
And
start eating each other?
yeah, and then they made a new draft because they have a new war plan. See, and you got to have a
Automatic.
money.
It's automatic again.
Yeah, so you have the draft being ramped up. You have a new war getting ready to kick off. You have the monument for when we won the war already being planned. See, so it's just a interesting time. How's
Well,
that?
if they're planning a win, like we won, then that's only more evidence that it's been pre-planned and they're just telegraphing everything that they're gonna do, like before they do it. But only three people are actually listening to the subtext. And
Well, I got news for you. Washington, D.C. has room for plenty of more war memorials. How's that?
we could just put it on all of the land that Bill Gates has bought. Just he's got lots of space for memorials. Just
Yeah,
the
yeah,
Chinese, lots and
yeah,
lots of acres.
yeah.
Lots and lots of acres. So what do you think is going to happen with all this ash in Japan? Do you think it's going to choke people out? Is there going to be a big explosion or is it
Uh,
going to calm down? I think
I
it's
think, I think it's an appropriate song that everybody should sing once a month is Heaven's Just One Step Away. Heaven's just a step away, blah, 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 blah. Or we can go to Chambers, brother. People get ready. There's a train a coming. You don't need a ticket. You just get on board, right?
well, that's what most people do. They just get on board without checking the ticket, checking where it's
Yeah.
going, and then when they get
And
there, they
then they can
complain.
go into the underground tunnels. See?
Yeah, well, I guess if you get that straw, if you pull that straw, it might not be so hot. Like it sounds exciting, but really, if you got
Uh,
picked for that, maybe not so good.
I think what's his name had it right, the seven levels of hell. I think he was describing the underground facilities in the United States and Russia and Europe. See
Maybe
all
he
those
was just
leaders, they
describing
don't care.
2026.
Huh?
Maybe he was just describing 2026.
Yeah. None of the leaders around the world care about their country. Okay. Like I said, they've all gone to multinational and they need to wear little patches supported by, STP or Exxon or whoever, right?
Like a
And
race car?
they're, yeah, so people could recognize a corporate affiliate. And remember, buy stock in your favorite corporation so you can be a member of that company, right? You'll be recognized in the future because we'll have company stores and company towns, just like we had in the 1800s. So
That's
we
because
have,
people still want to be recognized because that's more important than
yeah, yeah. iRobot, iRobot's, Tesla, they'll be the biggest. Could be. Anyway, I think we pretty well covered all those events that are going on. I mean, you got to hand it to them. Delusional omnipotence are to be the byword of the day, right? You know,
could be.
that has strictly been reserved for the Catholic Church for the last 2,000 years. Oh, I love it. How's that church attendance going for the last 10 years, boys?
I don't know. I think we have better attendance with the Godzilla church.
Oh yeah.
One day we will. Maybe we can fight
You
for.
know, the Beatles got banned because Lennon said they were more popular than Jesus.
Uh-oh.
I wonder where Taylor Swift sits in that little hierarchy at this point, right?
I'm wondering, like, what happens if when John Lennon was shot, he jumped into Donald Trump's body, and that's why Donald Trump is saying that he's like Jesus because John Lennon wanted to say it again and get away with it this time. That was so messed up. I shouldn't say things like that.
Mm-mm. I don't know. We could take a look.
Oh, I was just kidding.
Last time Trump reincarnated, that was when he was born 46, and previously had exited the planet in 1882,
Wow.
which would have made he was born in 1838, 39. Yeah. So, what goes around comes around. Ha ha ha. We'll call that Buddhism. Oh, and a new religion that should be invented and which we could incorporate Godzilla into, and we should call a marriage of Buddhism and Catholicism and call them bucolics. How's that?
I think there'll be a 12-step program for them very soon.
Yeah. 12-step program, you can become a bucolic because Russell Brand came out and said in 7 days you can become a Christian. And every Baptist church I ever went to said it only took 5 minutes,
You
right?
just got to go in a river and get dunked, right?
Yeah, that's right. Take
It's
me to the
refreshing.
river. Take me to the river. I'm not afraid. Take me to the river. I want to get anyway.
Whoa, 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 wow.
Oh,
Vanna,
that,
come
that
back.
was that was our version of the song in high school. Anyway,
Wow. And I'm thinking Talking Heads, take me to the water, right? Take me
yeah,
to the river and dunk me in the water. Put me
yeah,
in the water.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
At this point, I think there's one line in one movie where Talladega Nights, where what's his name goes, "Save me, save me, save me, Tom Cruise, with your voodoo." And I think we have reached that point in human history. All right.
Well, Tom, you need to call us.
Yeah, Tom Cruise need to call us because we need your voodoo. How's that?
I think so. That
Yeah,
voodoo
I
that
think so
you
too.
do so well.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm. Hmm.
I have a question.
Okay, dokie.
Hair.
Yeah.
If you whack it from here down, does that, not that I'm just randomly, when you whack hair, does the memory of the whatever data input in that hair, like, does it go away? Like,
It's here's an antenna. All right.
okay, so the longer the better, or no?
Yeah, yeah. They figured out in Vietnam they had Native American scouts and they chopped their hair off and they just weren't as good as the ones that were allowed to keep their hair, right?
Wow.
So it acts as an antenna. There's a lot of science behind it. Kundalini yoga is based on the word kundal, which means locks, which means your hair, right? Or lack thereof in this case, right?
Well, I mean, I guess, when your hair stands on end, when you get goosebumps,
Yeah,
like
that's
sometimes
an
when I've,
yeah,
when I hear, when I have a thought that's particularly on point sometimes, and it's just
yeah,
something that occurs to me out of the blue, like where I just somehow randomly feel through and then get a data set. Sometimes
right,
my hair will go on end.
yeah,
Like,
yeah, yeah. When the ghosties come at night, the reason I'm aware of their presence is because the hair on my arms and head starts to stand up, right?
right, that's not the 8 Twinkies you ate right before bed, right?
No, no, it wasn't ding dongs. It wasn't Twinkies, right?
That's the smart ass answer from the people who are
Yeah.
scared of your actual answer. I think
Yeah.
it's because they're scared because it causes them to have to rethink everything life they think is like, and then now it isn't. It makes it not like you're walking on jello after you thought you were walking on cement, you know?
Exactly. It's like when you get married, why doesn't the hair stand up on your head, on your body?
Warning, warning, warning,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Warning, Will Robinson, right?
danger, danger. Okay. Well, the black hole in the hair just had me kind of a little looping around. Um, are you ready for the provocateurs questions?
Well, sure. Let's see what people have to say out there.
The people. Okay, are you familiar with xenobots or organophiles? They're essentially living brains attached to robotics. How far have we actually gone with making those?
Well, the original plot in science fiction books has been the use of organic matter as a mechanism of storage and retrieval of information, right? But
Okay.
what they didn't get is that there had to be a source of that information that they were able to tap into. So what we have is 5G, 10G, 20Gs, however how many Gs you want to get, that maintain a constant broadcast of the ability to tap into the information. And that's what they call data centers is about. Okay. They're uploading all this information so that it can be accessed by the robots.
Isn't
But
that
none
what
of them,
hair is for?
huh?
Isn't that why I have hair to do the same thing?
Yeah.
You just said
Well, we
hair
do
does.
it. We do it because we access the field. And what they're trying to do is create an artificial field that has the same data density as the field that we exist in, which is impossible, right? And so, but they're going to give it a good whirl. So the future of robotics is the same thing as in the Asimov novels, the Foundation series, is that you would eventually get organelle type um, critters, we'll call them, that are placed into an environment that allows them to operate. And there's the key problems that are existing in it. And that's why Elon needs to call me. So there, I could help. Call me,
Well, yeah,
Will.
I mean, that was like two of our friends who worked together were trying to make, oh God, was it an autonomous internet or an autonomous AI? I don't know. There was something going on over there in Las Vegas
Yeah.
besides drugs and alcohol.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. A gene structure can hold more data and accept more data, right, than almost any chip that's out there.
isn't that why they're trying to make DNA hard drives? Because it can hold petabytes worth as opposed to
Yeah.
terabytes?
Yeah. You could own, let's see, how many terabytes could you get in a pinhead? Not to talk about our politicians, I'm talking about straight pins, right? Um, let's see, petabytes. Yeah, you could go above petabytes. You could get 1,000 petabytes at the head of a pin in genetic information storage. So think about that.
Well, then humans are maybe worth more than they're telling us.
Yeah. So not only do we have pinheads, we have pinhole cameras. And so if you take pinholes and pinheads and put them together, they spell politician. See?
I thought you were going to say it's like a double slit experiment.
Uh, without making too big a pun, I would say, particularly as comes to the White House and stuff like that, that depends. That's a
Yeah,
second level joke, get it?
yeah,
Anyway,
that depends.
yeah, it
I don't even
depends.
want, that's
Yeah,
so,
I think Artemis could have maybe used an extra box of those
well, you
from
know
what
what?
I heard.
Apollo was Artemis's, Artemis, or however you pronounce it. It's her twin. You know that, right? Like
It's what?
Apollo is Artemis's twin.
Yeah, yeah,
So like they had to call it that.
yeah.
Okay. What can it mean when a person has a hard time getting out of their own way? You can't snap out of your orbital looping. That's what I'm gonna say.
Right. Yeah. No, that's actually true. It's one of the things they do, like with an ant, if or I can't think it was an ant or butterfly. I mean, I think it was an ant. They drew a circle with a like a felt pen on a piece of paper
Yeah.
and put the in the middle of it. It couldn't escape. It would come up to that line. You know, we're talking Flatland, the book, if anybody's ever read it, and they couldn't escape. They would go all over trying to get out of the circle that had been drawn for them. And they did the same thing with a Tesla. They put a ring of salt around it and it wouldn't go anywhere, right? That was on some internet I saw. And the third thing is you put a ring of salt around your bed and that keeps the demons away. So there you go. See, Trump could be propagating so much useful information if he just accept his divinity. How's that?
Do I get lubrication when I have to accept his divinity?
Just remember, petroleum jelly is bad for you. Next.
Wow. If the poles shifted on Earth, then I'm assuming our energy shifts as well. What would that look like? Well, I don't know. I feel like that already happened there,
Say
brother,
it again.
baby.
What happened?
If the poles shifted on Earth, then he's assuming that our energy shifts as well. What would that look like?
Well, what it would look like is you wouldn't be looking at it because you wouldn't be able to look at it because you wouldn't be here after the pole shift. All you got to look at what a pole shift engenders. And if you can't spell 1,500-mile winds and miles per hour winds and 1,000-foot um, tsunamis, then you have no idea. I mean, the population will be reduced to a very, very low number, right? It's it's why they invented LSD and made the movie by Neville Shute on the beach. So there.
2027.
Yeah. Uh,
It's
what's
coming.
what's a pop us pop into our um, atmosphere? A pop
Hapaka pop hapapa pippa
oh,
pop
they
pippi
wrote a song, Papa
Pippi
Top.
Pippi Longstocking poppycock comet poppycock. What's it
Yeah,
called?
Papa Top. That's what Papa Top is. There we
Papa
go.
top. Papa's
Yeah,
gonna pop his top, and then you better watch it.
yeah, there we go. There
That's
we go.
all.
See, we have so much to look forward to in the next 2 years, right?
Well, you better live it up now. So now this is when I'm gonna say, guess what I did over the weekend? Rendela!
Yeah.
I made salted caramel ice cream with salted caramel swirls.
Did you say sausage caramel ice
Yeah,
cream?
that's right, because it's a sausage fest out there.
Uh,
Salted
I
caramel,
mean,
salted. No, and
almost
you
like,
could.
where's the bacon caramel ice cream? I mean, now we're talking.
Yeah, well, I could probably throw some bacon in there, and then I would have like
That could be our new enterprise. We can make bacon
ice
caramel
cream,
ice cream. Yeah,
bacon caramel ice cream.
yeah.
Okay.
I think it'd be popular in certain parts of the world, particularly the Middle East. Anyway,
No, we can't because it's going to be gone. We don't have a Middle East
yeah, yeah,
anymore,
yeah.
remember?
Yeah, there's a lot of the psychics that can't get beyond 2029. It's kind of like somebody drew that circle and they got you know, a limit on their consciousness or whatever.
Well, then I probably shouldn't worry about any eviction proceedings. If we're all going to be gone anyway, then what the hell does it matter, right?
Yeah, go
I
Manami.
got nothing to lose. Okay, so is the Earth magnetically a monopole or a dipole?
Okay, wait. Did we answer the organelles and all that stuff proper? What was the other
Oh,
part?
organelles. Are they essentially living brains attached to robotics?
No, they're a programmable ectoplasm. There's the answer next.
Okay.
Right.
Okay. That was a very quick answer. Okay.
Yeah.
So, okay, so back to the Earth. Is it magnetically a monopole or a dipole?
There's a problem with that question. Okay. Um, you could say that every human is bipolar, and we already know that. Um, and the Earth itself is, let's see, a monopole. Is a monopole depending on where you're standing? How's that? Like I said, there's a problem with the question. Okay. So
Okay.
we could say it's a dipole and we're a dipole, but it's not exactly true because of the magnetic signature of the square foot of land you're standing on. All right. And
Mhm.
what that means is that you can get a positive or a negative charge out of that area, and we know that. Um, it's unfortunately that's where they came up like the idea of holy places or sacred spaces and all this other crap they put out there, because all it is that you have a different magnetic interaction at those points. And of course, they call them nodes and they call them ley lines and they call them everything in the world. And there's been books and information on it for thousands of years because people are aware of it, except today we're not aware of it, right? It's
Okay.
like when you you sleep with a magnetic action or
Right, which is
interaction.
why I had my bed flipped so that I could
Yeah,
sleep with my head
yeah.
where it is. Okay.
So
Have,
you owe it to yourself to go somewhere where you're magnetically inclined to a positive outcome, we'll call it,
okay.
right? Sometimes I calibrate that for people like where they would do better, right? Because you can be trapped in a magnetic field, and which is all inclusive representative of the place you're at. In other words, like I go to San Antonio and go to a Spurs game, and there's 30,000 people there that are just having the time of their lives. They were happy. It's to be in an environment of 30,000 people that everybody's having a good time and nobody's excessively doing weird things, and they're there to enjoy and the children are having a good time. It's like all the way through. Now, that's not true because there was one group, and of course they're from Dallas, and that's why the Mavericks and the Cowboys and all those people, they're in it for the money. They're not in it for the game. And the Spurs were in it for the game. And we know that because they made like 20 something out of 33 pointers in a row during one particular part of the game. And then Dallas only made three out of those 30 during the same period because they're not motivated. They just making it the money. They're not there to play the game as it's supposed to be played. And that's why Dallas and Cowboys and Mavericks should give me a call or forever take their money and just enjoy it. Next.
Well,
But you'll
they've got
can't,
about 3 years to go to do that,
yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah, it's just pitiful.
Okay. Monopole, dipole, or Texas sports team poles?
Tadpole.
Tadpoles. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Next question.
Epstein was just a tadpole in a lake of frogs. There
Well,
you
now
go.
he's a tadpole in the Sea of Tranquility.
Huh?
I said, now he's a tadpole in the Sea of Tranquility.
Synchronicity?
Sea of Tranquility. Isn't that what they call that crater on the moon?
Oh,
I was making jokes, Randy. Come on. Don't make me get aggressive.
this Sea of Tranquility doesn't compute.
Maybe because
It's
it
not.
doesn't exist. I don't know.
No, I mean, you can name anything, right?
You ready for the
Oh,
next question? Oh, what?
no, that reminded me. That reminded
Uh-oh.
me. I think that The MAGA movement has it wrong. Okay. I think you and everybody in the MAGA movement should change their name this week to Trump as their last name. Just think, we would have like 60 million Trumps in the United States.
Well, then he could really
160
play.
million.
He could
Huh?
hide. He could hide better if we all do that. We're just aiding and abetting him.
No, we're just kind of capturing some of the magic. There
Is
you
that it? Because you two want to be a Donald?
go. I didn't say a Donald. I said change their last name to Trump. Just think about how that would roll off the tongue. Leanne Trump.
No, because that would give me Lee anxiety.
Yeah, yeah. But just think what that would do to the court system.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
It
yeah.
could
We,
scare them for just like a nanosecond.
yeah. Anyway,
Okay.
so we switched to statutory law, which means that we need statues of Trump everywhere. And I'm putting together a statue of Trump for DC. So
Statutory.
anybody wants to
Wow.
join in on that, just let me know, right?
That's a really bad play on words. That's almost, we're back to the Catskills with you. I'm going to banish you if you keep doing that.
No, they need an IQ level to be able to figure all this out, and I just don't think the censors are up to it. That's my opinion.
Yeah, well, that's why the leaders have higher IQs than the censors so that they can keep smoke and mirrors going and no one notices. It's great.
I
Okay, so
mean,
you want the next question?
it's just sad. It's just
It
sad,
is
right?
sad. My mom used to say it was sad, and
Yeah,
she used to call it the Prophets Before People Party, and she was referring to one of them, but I kept telling her, no, it's both. They're all like that because it's not the
yeah,
party.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
it's it's just
The
prophets before people, period.
profit for people's parties.
Yeah, profits so that this other people can have parties at your expense.
Yeah, yeah. That's your tax dollars at work.
It's wonderful.
Yeah, yeah. Just think how many bombs you bought in the last 10 years, right?
Margaret the Mutation. Anybody who wants to listen to that, you're more than welcome to come find me. I'll play it for you.
There you go.
Yeah, great little operetta. Okay. If poking holes in the clouds is a kind of plasma connection, are we connecting plasma energy from the ground through us to the clouds like a conduit? I
Mm.
think it's our own plasma
Okay.
energy that's
Okay.
interacting.
You're referring to in martial arts the idea not of grounding, but of pulling earth energy. It's a form of earth magic, if you want to get right
Okay.
down to it, where you're pulling up the electron, just what like Tesla did. You stick a copper rod on one end and magnesium or iron on the other and separate them by a certain number of feet, and you're going to get voltage out of it. Well, in Kung Fu, we put our feet in a certain angle and a certain distance apart, and we pull up energy through the system. And eventually they call that chi or ki. And then using that, we learn to do what they call a ki ball, right? Chi
Right, when
ball.
you start.
And when you learn that, now you're interactive. So
Okay.
people want to be interactive with plasma, chi, life energy. It's like the War Day book. I'm basically hinting at that through some of the exercises that you can pull energy up that is usable, and that's the key, right?
Right. Because people can talk about it all they want, but then there's really no like
Yeah,
handbook to explain in a simple because I really feel like it's simple, even though it's not easy. The concept is simple if you can just rid
yeah,
yourself of all of the
yeah. It's
conventional stuff that's stuffed in there.
yeah. There, like Native Americans, we recognize that there's differences in the energy of plants and animals and the earth and clouds and the ether and all the gods and Godzillas of the world. So and the trick becomes all magic is the ability to interact with some of those different energies. And we call it plant magic, we call it earth energy magic, we call it air magic, we call it last airbender, last waterbender, right? Because there's not magic in all those. If you substitute the word magic and substitute with the word energy, you
Hmm.
would have a basis for understanding all the crazy books that have been published
Sure.
about
White
magic.
energy, black energy, red energy, all that stuff that
It's,
we've already
yeah, it's
discussed.
not magic, it's energy, tapping into it and energy
Knowing how to
transfer.
manipulate it, right?
Yeah, it's called ET, right?
Phone, phone home. Okay.
Yeah.
What about orgone energy? Is that the energy, is that energy the same as what you're talking about when you say key? Is orgone energy kind of like that?
What happens is if you have energy of a nature that is unobservable, okay,
Mm.
which the majority of energy, you would start giving it names and call it pyramid energy or geometric energy or geometria energy or there's no telling what all you would come up with. And every society has a different name for it. Every language has a different name for it. So basically, remember, if you take out all the hubris and all the spookiness out of it, you're dealing with one simple thing. How do I make a connection, interface, and establish an energy transfer, positive or negative? That's it. Right? When you say you love somebody, theoretically, that's a positive. And if you say something that's you don't like somebody, that's theoretically a negative. What are we talking about? We're talking about the charge of information and energy that is being
Behind the
broadcast
words, right?
to the other person. That's all we're talking about, right? I plus you.
I plus two. I plus Hannah, and I
Yeah,
plus my
see, see?
dog,
I plus
and I
you.
plus my friends.
I minus you.
I minus some
Yeah,
people. There are some people
yeah,
that definitely need to be minused,
yeah,
but that's a whole other conversation.
you're right.
So, okay, so Matt says he's got a few small crystal pyramids and he puts some of his plants close to them. And the ones closest to the pyramids are growing better than the ones that are not closer to them. Does there are do the pyramids does it really affect the growth or the shape of the environment? And is it also concentrating upward spiraling energy?
No. What you have is deformation of space, the spacescape, we'll call it. In other words, if you deform space, you have created movement, energy movement.
Okay.
So that's where all these geniuses got together on sacred geometry and sacred spaces and all that kind of stuff. It's not sacred, it's just a deformity in the space. I hate the term, but space-time continuum.
Mm.
It's more of the warp and weave of space has been deformed in a way that creates potential. So a lot of them say there's potential energy like in space. No, you have to deform it in some form or fashion in order for that energy to be released. There you go. So now you can manipulate space and time and energy. And I know because I do it all the time.
Okay, so that brings me back to when I told you, like, and we were going along really, really nicely in my guided meditation in the morning until we got to visualizing, like, and seeing things. And you said, no, that's turned into manipulation. So basically, warping space is if I want my manipulations to be effective, I need to figure out how to warp space while I'm creating them.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
And that is in Japanese martial arts called Kujakiri, nine
Uh-huh.
hands kata. Okay. It's like, it's a way to anchor your mind into a action that is that produces change. That's the easiest way to put it.
And if you ensconce that in massive gratitude and happiness when you're doing that, does it accelerate it with a positive charge?
No,
No, it doesn't do anything one way or another.
that's a fashion statement.
Aha. Okay.
You're putting clothes on it,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
See?
Because
Easy.
diamonds are a girl's best friend. What? I
Yeah.
make it shiny and sparkly.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. The same thing, putting a gold chain around your neck or on your finger produces a warp in the local space, and it creates an energy flow.
What about a gold ring?
Well, this is heart meridian on the left hand on the second finger. So when you put gold on there, that's one thing. I mean, in India, they say put stainless steel on the wrist, left wrist.
Hmm.
And most people wear a stainless steel watch on their left wrist. I mean, this is all old science. The problem is we're so insensitive that we're not aware of any uh, activity that's going on with all these things. Yeah, I mean, you can wear a 10 karat diamond and not necessarily alter your receptivity to whatever might be produced by that. Okay.
Well, and what about the carats, like 18 and 14 karat? Does that have an effect on
Uh,
the charge?
no, you're getting a different signature response.
So it's a
It's
different
kind of like
frequency?
it's, no, it's like let's say the energy is going to flow into there's a phenomena in space where if you put two identical metals, they will literally weld themselves together. Okay. And what you're seeing then is that the potential energy, I don't know, they call it Casimir effect, all this thing. All you're doing is the potential energy recognizes itself. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, potential energy recognizing itself, we call attraction and manifestation. Okay.
Yeah.
Very simple.
Okay.
What's
Well,
it say? Made in China?
yeah,
No.
that's right. Cracker Jacks. It says platinum. This is platinum. So I've
Okay.
got platinum on my ring finger
Yeah.
and I've got gold on my pinky finger, 18 karat.
Okay. Those are dissimilar metals, and that's a conflict of interest.
It
There.
is. Okay.
Yeah. So people should wear gold or wear silver or wear platinum. How's that?
But not all three.
Yeah, but not all three.
No,
Right.
what if you wear gold on the left hand and silver on the right? Also conflicting?
Then you are altering the polarity exchange of energy in the body.
Is that good or bad?
I would think that would be at cross purposes to a certain degree, or
Interesting.
cancel. It's called a canceling effect.
So then you should really only wear one metal, whether it's 14 or
Yeah,
18 karat gold, then just wear gold or wear silver, but not both.
right. You find people that have an affinity. Oh, I wear silver jewelry, or I wear platinum or white
I've
gold.
always had an affinity for silver. Like, but
Yeah,
I also know when
a
there's a
lot of
full
people do.
moon. It's
Yeah,
weird.
it's like most people don't wear gold or can't wear gold or red dresses. You know, maybe Melania can, but I mean that's it because
My
she's an empress, right?
my mom always told me I looked very good in red.
Yeah, it
Oh
takes a
well.
special person. So
See,
that,
now look, I had to take all my rings off except the gold ones now. Because
yeah.
you maybe now I'll have to have my energy reset less. Oh man. Wow. Okay. Well, I'm glad we discussed that. Interesting.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
you can alternate wearing gold or silver depending on, but just don't wear both at the same time or
No, I've
always
never,
wear one?
I've always, I mean, I've looked at like what's, wearing platinum, wearing gold, wearing silver. I mean, if you look on a periodic chart, there are different levels of electron activity and count, and from that we could infer frequency and vibration and all kinds of other things. I mean, everybody I hear talk about frequency and vibration has probably never studied a periodic table. It would explain a lot. Okay.
Yeah, well, that's like cursive. It's probably going to go away.
Yeah.
Why would silver have a number in it? See, this is now just dumb questions. If
Well,
there
that
is
comes from England, where they made a standard of 92.5 to
that's
equal
what it says,
7.
92.5.
Yeah, that's standard that was set in England, I think, right? For purity.
Yeah. The silver ring, it's a little nasty. I mean, I don't know, nasty might be the wrong word. Maybe I won't share it. Okay. So, um, it's two people intertwined. That's all. I'll just put it that way.
Yeah. Yeah. Silver people and gold people don't interact very well.
Well, I don't
Yeah.
know. My mom was a gold person and I'm a silver person and like I've been canceling myself out now for a,
Yeah.
for,
Yeah.
for a couple years. I better
Yeah.
stop it. You know what? Now that I took my hand feels different. Now that I removed the silver, I'm feeling some kind of energy where the rings were once and they're not. And it's not because they were tight.
Yeah.
That's kind of interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
Um, it's funny how you were talking about how you've got to warp space or deform space or derange yourself, right?
Yeah.
Because Matthew's next question is, have you ever explored the space between space or the time between time? And if so, what did you discover?
Um, the answer is yes,
Hmm.
and the answer is nothing. You
Ha!
just you just discovered nothingness. Okay. Okay.
Right.
It's a it's a very profound thing, um, when you recognize that nothing exists. How's that?
Yeah, I mean, I remember the first time that occurred to me, and it was pretty trippy.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
super trippy
It-
because then it
it-
makes you have to rethink everything and recalibrate and recontextualize everything.
right. Yeah. I've done a lot of exploring on that. From the standpoint, I do what they call self-education, self-exploration, where it's kind of like if you say, well, uh, Trump has created a state of chaos in the world. I don't know, what do you would call it? Psyche. Well, it's like we go to numbers, 1 to 10, 1 to 100, 1 to 1,000.
Mm,
Are there different layers of chaos? And the answer to that one is absolutely. And so we look at chaos as a kinetic field that has no coherence. So
okay.
now apply that to human thought or human activity. There's very little coherence in human activity. Uh,
These
when you
days,
do, when you do, you get what we call single purposeness, right? In other words, that's the only thing you can do or think about. So, and we call it specialization is for devolution. There we go.
yeah, well, there was a band called Devo once who said,
Yeah.
"We are not men, we are Devo,
Yeah.
de-evolution." Okay. Um, I'm gonna rephrase this one, I think, and I don't know if I should take the liberty. I mean, if one tends to intellectualize or analyze ideas and concepts, and I'm gonna say if one gets stuck in orbital thinking too much, are there any tips you can share to get out of that state of mind? Yeah, go get cold water, take a cold ice plunge.
Well, the basic language I use is thinking won't give it. That's all you need to know. And continuous thinking will wear you out. It's there's physical tiredness, which is how you're supposed to go to sleep at night. You're supposed to be physically tired.
Mm-hmm.
And then mental tiredness doesn't count because mental tiredness is way worse. In other words, you have thought yourself into a complete drain or deficit on your battery.
Yep.
And I have literally had to tell people quit thinking. And what that means is go to the gym, clean the house, do the dishes. You have to do some kinetic activity to take you out of what we call this area of the brain, number 10 section. No, take you out of this one or this one, the cerebral areas of the brain, and
Mm.
put them into motor control. And if you don't put them into motor control, you can sit there in orbit for the rest of your life.
That's moving meditation, vacuuming,
Yeah.
especially when you've got a
Anything, as
white
long
noise going, like that kind of
there has to be kinetic
stuff.
act. Right?
No, go to the beach. Go hug a tree.
Yeah, that works too.
Yeah. Yep. Okay. So when one is looking at a mandala, where do you want to put your focus? Directly on it, or do we want to do it with or without an intention?
Mandala is a fractal meditative exercise.
Mm,
And if you can separate your consciousness, which is required for mandala meditations, because you have to separate your consciousness and go into the matrix that mandala represents. Okay. And when you do, it's like going into what the Tibetans call a mind palace. In other words, you can go places, you can see things in that mandala because they were designed for you to do that. But the requirement that nobody ever understood was you were required to be able to separate your consciousness from your own physical body to be able to interpret that or to interact with it in any meaningful way. See, these are things they don't teach anymore, right?
if
So,
they ever did, like the closest I would get, like, was probably when my mom tossed me into the Rudolph Steiner School, and our teacher, Mrs. Palesti, would make us do form drawing all the time,
yeah.
where
Mhm.
you would have to draw like a circle and then a circle, and then you would have to do mirror images. And some of the kids, to this day, some of my classmates are like, "Oh, I meowing hated form drawing.
Yeah.
I loved form drawing. I still do it." So I guess my question is if you make your own mandala, like in your form drawing, when you're sort of mentally checked out and just doing your drawing, are you giving yourself a message that's locked in that mandala?
No, what you're
Like,
doing is manipulating the field in a way that like the ways I learned originally was in order to produce a block. Like if you wanted to block somebody, okay, you would literally produce a mandala in the mind energetically, kind of like drawing with Picasso used to draw with fire. He'd draw
yeah.
these, he'd do things in the dark and show all these circles and stuff. And and if you look at that, that is exactly what you're doing. You're drawing a pattern
Hmm.
that has the universe on the other side of it that has to interact it in the way that the mandala was created. And we know that because Solomon had 27
Sigil,
S-I-G-I-L.
sigil, a sigil,
Yeah.
sigil.
The,
Yeah,
the
yeah.
20, the 27 seals of Solomon. And each one of them was a mandala or a creation in the mind of a fractal pattern that made interaction with certain aspects of the energy flows in the universe, particularly those related to entities, spirit attachments, orbs, or whatever the hell you want to call it. There you go.
So when you go into like a computer program that makes sigils out of, like, let's say my first name, you put it in and then it'll make some weird
Yeah,
little,
right.
okay.
You are potentially creating something that can have a profound effect in your own energy field or your own reality.
So then
Yeah.
is it a good practice to make sigils?
Not unless you have somebody that can train you and monitor what's going on while you're doing it. Otherwise, you can end up like Jack Parsons and Aleister Crowley and a
Oh
whole bunch
God.
of other people that have suffered from their lack of knowledge and education and training and doing such things.
Let's set off
All
a
black magic people
hydrogen bomb.
suffer. Yeah,
Yeah.
all black magic people will suffer from that at some point, right?
Interesting.
Yeah.
Right. So you got to make sure that there's no black or red magic or energy going into your sigils. You want it to be white or positive, right?
Yeah, I think it's interesting. Maybe I've had maybe one or two people ask me if I would train them in such things.
Mm.
Well, and it's like, you know, we have to have a long discussion about to what end, right? So, personal protection, yes, definitely. People should learn to do it. So, I have.
Well, I mean, personal protection is probably very, very important, especially since we live in an energetic world before it's
Yeah, yeah,
physical,
yeah,
and I'm still waiting for the world to catch up with that idea.
yeah.
I think if that were taught in school, it would flip the model of teaching on its
Oh, yeah,
ass.
yeah.
You wouldn't.
Dion Hudson wrote a book called Psychic Self-Defense, and that was my first introduction to the idea of like, I knew I was in trouble. I just didn't know there were things I could do to help myself that way. And so that's your initiation into that whole concept, right?
Well, the last question is, what are some of the most interesting Native American spirituality concepts you've gotten to learn about? And can you recommend any books on Native American spirituality?
No. I mean, there's lots of books out there, but all that information is based on your ability to tap into that information set. A lot of the early or 1800 leaders, we didn't recognize we had a religion. We didn't recognize we had a spirituality. That was all laid upon us by the white people and the religious people, right? You know, they were trying to describe their interactions and they didn't apply to us at all. We had what we call direct interfaces interaction. Just like me, I've had teachers show up in my bedroom or in different places, one of them public, and proceed to educate me, and all done at a plasma etheric level,
Hmm.
and has nothing to do with the idea that it was a spiritual encounter or a religious event, right? That's wrong, right? So that's just manipulation.
Okay. Well, it seems like
So
there's a whole lot of manipulation going on.
yeah. So you are either able to interact with those that level of consciousness, disembodied consciousness, non-local consciousness, non-human intelligence, whatever the hell you want to call it. And all you have to do is look at the Hopis and Navajo all tried to give all kind and Zuni all kinds of names to these things. And the naming of something is a form of magic. Here we go again, right? So if you can name a demon theoric, you can control it. And of course, we know what happened to all the people who have tried that. So bad, 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 right?
What is this place? It's just so strange.
Oh, this is an amazing thing.
I mean,
It's
not in a bad way. It's just, it's strange. It's very mind-blowing. Like, especially
it,
having been conditioned, like, to be materialist. It's so weird.
it's a theater of the absurd. And everybody is an actor in it, particularly at the political level,
Mm.
at the movie level. Okay. Yeah, and we have Saint Bon Jovi explains it all. I play my role, you play your games, you give love a bad name, right? There's a spiritual teaching for everybody out there, right? Don't give love a bad name, right?
Ever don't.
Right.
Okay, bye. Have a
Okay,
great
well,
week.
later.